Hey, what's up everybody? We're outside here with a new old project, what I'm gonna call it. I originally built this monstrosity when I ran mud trucks to drag my mud trucks out because I got tired of getting stuck and waiting on other people to pull me out. And I've had it in the back in the woods for like, I don't know, 9 years, 10 years. It's been sitting for quite a while. The last time we had it out, it was actually underwater over the hood. I'll find some pictures and post them up of this. It ran after that at one point in time, not real great. And so I don't know if the motor's completely wasted in it or not, but Christy said she was getting a new cat, so I got a new truck. I thought it was fair. We're gonna try to get this thing cleaned up and get it running again, fix, air up the tires and check all the oil on it and all that. And I think it needed an air compressor is what I originally parked it for. And maybe some injectors cleaned. I don't really remember everything about it, but it's an old military truck. We had two trucks. We took one and cut the frame and just took a chunk of frame and welded it to the bottom of this frame. Pretty crude, but it does work. Strangely well too, might I add. It does work really well. We built it in a weekend, me and a couple buddies. I think it took us like 3 days to put this together. So not real work of art or nothing, but it does do the job and have a lot of fun. It has a Continental multi-fuel motor in it, if I remember correctly. I haven't even opened the hood on it. The fuel system's completely trashed on it. That was part of the issues after it went underwater. The fuel pump, the electric fuel pump that feeds the injector pump, started acting up, so it quit working. I think I got some solutions to that. It's got a fuel cell in the bed of it that's pretty crude. I'm gonna clean that up a little bit. I think that'll fix that problem. Hopefully the motor will run right then. We're gonna dump some oil down the cylinders just to let them free up because it's been sitting for 9 years. And then we're gonna see if it'll crank over. This is gonna be the side project. I always wanted something to work on, and this seems like something fun to work on. So, and I like having something crude that I can just go run stuff over in. I mean, what's wrong with that? So.
What about the Suburban?
Oh yeah, we have a Suburban too, which I'm gonna build that later. Christy's got to point out stuff that takes years to build versus stuff that's gonna take like a week or two to build. I mean, a week sounds so much better than a year. But we'll get to the Suburban later. This is a fun project for now. What's up everybody? So like the first hour of working on the big military truck, we just rigged up the jumper charger to some batteries that were like 9 years old. Just because we wanted to get the fuel pump working. So the last time I had this out, we rigged up a fuel tank in the bed, did a little lift pump deal, which was actually just an old fuel pump that I don't know where I got it from. Just a cheap one like so. Rigged up filter housing off a piece of equipment we stole out of the scrapyard, and then ran the lines down. Obviously you can see that these lines are in awesome shape, but they actually were working pretty good. So pulled the old pump out because I realized it was completely shot. It wouldn't kick on at all, but I had one laying around the shop, so I threw it in here, hooked it all up, kicked it on. It actually worked. And then right here seems to be our problem. This line is stiff as a board and it's leaking at that joint, so we're just going to try to tighten the hose clamp and see what happens, and flip it back on. Maybe it won't leak. We'll see. There's a chance. I probably got to put new lines on it, but I want to see if it runs first before I do too much work. That's obviously the main point today. If we get it started, we got to get batteries out of the school bus because I don't have batteries for it. So we're going to steal them out of the bus, put them in here, crank it over, see if it'll start. If it'll start, then I'll actually put more time invested into the truck. But it's got to run first before you want to invest any time. So what we got going right now is the batteries on the truck are dead. There are these little fancy thread-on terminals, which are pretty common in like farm implement stuff, not so common in batteries. So original plan was to steal batteries out of the school bus, use them to try to start the truck. Well, they're the wrong style, and I don't feel like trying to switch the ends. I thought about vice gripping them on just to, get by. And I realized, well, I got this really awesome pair of jumper cables that I made a long time ago that are like for jump starting semis, super heavy duty. I'll just switch the bus to 24 volt real quick. So I'll pull the starting wire positives off the bus completely, and I'll take this one off the negative, put it on positive, hook negative, positive, give me 24 volts to the truck so I can start it. And since the last time I've seen you guys and I decided to do that whole concoction to get the truck to maybe start, I realized that we have a few other issues I need to address first. First being, for some reason, the air intake tube's off. Probably I spray an ether in it, which that doesn't bother me as much as the crap in the air intake tube. I don't know if you guys can see that in there. We got to get that out so it doesn't suck it into the motor and we don't destroy the motor before we even get the chance to start the motor. So we're going to clean that up. Probably going to pull the air filter now that I know that, just to look at it. Maybe just leave it out. I don't think we need it. I think that's overrated. But we're going to check that just to make sure it's somewhat semi okay. We'll probably just blow that dirt or get a vacuum and suck it out of the turbo. And then there's a few other things I'm trying to remember. You know, again, it's been like 9 years since I drove this. For some reason, we have this strange plugged off line here. I don't know. I guess we'll see if it leaks. Must not have been important when it ran last because we just plugged it off. Don't really remember what it is or what it goes to. And we're going to try that and then hope like the ignition works. I mean, it's military stuff. I mean, it has some radiation in the dash on these trucks. Fun fact, for those of you who don't know, if you ever take an old military truck, the gauges glow in the dark. The reason they glow in the dark is they have radiation in them. If you try to run this to a scrapyard with the radiation detector, it'll set it off every time. Get your load rejected. Learn that the hard way. So if you're ever going to scrap one of these trucks, you may have to jerk the gauges out of it because they're full of radiation. But we figured, hey, that stuff keeps cancer away, so I should probably, you know, be real close to it. It ain't gonna hurt me none. We're gonna go ahead and try this, get all this stuff going and see how it goes. I'm gonna try to set a time lapse up so you can watch. It's hard to do all this by myself. I don't have a tripod or nothing for the GoPro to keep an eye on everything, but we'll see if we can clamp it somewhere and maybe get you some shots of it. And I'll let you guys know when I get all this done. I think we had some visitors living with us. They had a good home for a while, but I think we're about to take over their house. So, peace out, guys. Time to go. I'm a little skittish. I feel like there might still be like a mouse running around in there, and I'm gonna run like hell. This is not a good idea. We're okay. Cool. Nothing's alive. They're fluffy little furry fellers. Nothing's in there. We're good. On with forward progress. So here's where we're at right now. We tried to hook in the batteries straight to the starter right here, and got it hooked to a ground. It will engage the starter, but it not actually do anything. I don't know if y'all can hear that. Let's see. And pretty much either the motor's locked up solid, which I refuse to believe that this motor could ever lock up solid. It was only underwater once. I don't know why it would lock up. I think what we're gonna try doing, what I'm gonna try doing when Christy gets home, is I'm gonna hook a chain to my pickup truck, pull it backwards, pop the clutch in reverse, and hope that it'll lob the motor over. And if that works, then that'll be awesome. We may do that once or twice. Nothing crazy, just get it rolling, pop the clutch, hope that it forces the motor to turn over just to break it free, and then we're gonna try the starter again. That's kind of my last resort, because that's pretty much what I'm down to. Other than that, I don't know what else I can do to it, and I really want it to run, so we're gonna try it. Why not? So we're on to something. we got it cranking over. I gotta go fix the battery cables over yonder. Got them a little kicked off. But what I did was took a hammer and jumped it across the solenoid to spin the starter, like so. And as I did that, the reason I couldn't film it is I took my other hand and hit the starter button to engage the starter real hard to the flywheel, which apparently broke it free enough that it cranked over. How it didn't waste the starter, I have no idea. And why it worked, I really have no idea, but it worked. So it'll crank, doesn't necessarily like it. Now let's get some fuel going to it and see if we can get it fired up. So I'm gonna throw the fuel pump on and start feeding it fuel and seeing if maybe it'll randomly want to start up. That'd be awesome. Probably gonna have to get some ether. So let's see what we get. Fuel pump engaged, starter button. We got no smoke coming out of the stack, so probably means we're not getting fuel yet. Let's go find some ether. It is a multi-fuel, so maybe that means it needs to run on multi-fuels at one time. Starting fluid and then diesel fuel is what I'm thinking. Like one of them old tractors, you know, you gotta start them off gasoline, then switch them to diesel. I think that's how this thing is. You start it off starting fluid, ether, then switch it to diesel fuel. At least that's what we're gonna go with. All right, we got ether. We're gonna flip the fuel pump on, start getting the fuel, and we're gonna try starting it off of ether and see what happens. So this is gonna be, sorry, dropping camera. This is gonna be a lot of fun. Here we go. Fuel pump on, keys on. I'm gonna reach starter button through the windshield, and I'm gonna try to spray ether in the engine compartment, like so. Hopefully, a little ether. Let's hit go here. Oh, she wants some. Needs more ether. Sorry, GoPro, you're gonna get put down. What's up, everybody? It runs. I don't know what got into it, but it's sitting here idling. Like, what are the chances of this? Like, legit. Running like a top. Oh, I had to say something, didn't I? There she is. Just sitting here idling. Sprayed some ether down her. Hammered the starter with the hammer a couple times. And it just decided to crank up and run. Sweet. Still got the turbo open. Poor GoPro up there. I hope it lives. Sorry, D-back. But woohoo! Yeah! So, jump started it off the bus. Have some makeshift jumper cable stuff down there. Battery charger going. I don't know why it's running. This thing just doesn't want to die. So, let's clean up some of this mess. I gotta go get Lainey from school, so we'll resume after that. I'm gonna try, see if it'll maybe wiggle a little bit. We don't have brakes. I still have everything everywhere. The makeshift fuel system. Okay. I don't know what that is. That is a new noise. I have no idea what that one was. Maybe the air pump is working again. So the air compressor thing was jacked up on this truck. I do remember that. If it's working, that means we'll have four-wheel drive again. Because apparently the last time I was in here, yeah. So we're gonna try to find somewhere to clamp the GoPro for right now. need the fancy mounts that everybody else has. Way easier. We're just gonna stick it in the passenger window. I hope y'all can see. We're gonna hopefully get her to move. Oh boy, we're gonna go to reverse. Oh wow, that actually shifted. Yeah. Ha 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 ha! Get the battery jumper cables. Come on, come on. I'm gonna take it easy on the revs. Knock it off. There she is. We're gonna unhook the jumper cables and we're gonna try to drive it around, because why wouldn't you drive it around? What's up? Hope this is not upside down, but we don't think we have any power steering fluid, so we're gonna grab some steering fluid. I think I actually have some left over. I pulled out of a car I bought and sold. Let's see if we can dig it up. And then it doesn't have to cost us a bunch of money to put power steering fluid in something that might leak it all out. I got some O'Reilly's. What do we got there? Here we go, some Prestone. There, good.